with you this passage from A Course in Miracles. I actually read it yesterday, and I can't stop rereading it today. It's about forgiveness. Of course, this book is all about forgiveness. All your past, except its beauty, is gone, and nothing is left but a blessing. I have saved all your kindnesses and every loving thought you ever had. I have purified them of the errors that hid their light and kept them from you in their own perfect radiance. They are beyond destruction and beyond guilt. The heart is pure to hold it, and the hands are strong to give it. We cannot lose. I love this passage because it's about forgetting all of the mistakes that you ever made. Like, you did the best that you could with what you had at that time period. And it says, like, in this book, it always says over and over, like, if you ask me who is me, the light, to purify the Holy Spirit, the breath, the respiration, the mitochondria function. Ask me to purify your vision. There's like, there's a bunch of things in your life that like, you're like, I wish I would have done this differently. Why didn't I walk away sooner? Why did I do this? Why did I do this? It's like everything was designed in perfect order, just like the cell. Everything was so purposely drawn out. Every single thing in the cell has a purpose and a function. And like, why did you get that flat tire when you were driving to work the other day? Because you had to get that, because the next intersection you would have gotten smacked. There's a purpose and an order to all things. And in the class that I'm in right now, it's all about biology, cells and tissues, and we're learning about innate intelligence. Innate intelligence, there is an intelligence of the cell, and through every living thing, through this book, through this phone, there's an innate intelligence. You look at the periodic table, and all of the elements of the periodic table, there's energy that's flowing through it. So like, even this piece of paper that seems like it's non-living, there's an essence to it. There's an aliveness to it. There are electrons and protons and neutrons that make up every single little thing. And it says, like, we're learning in my class, like, even the most rigorous scientific minds in the world realize that there is an innate energetic intelligence through all living things. Like, even agnostic and atheistic people have to acknowledge this pure intelligence, this pure love, this pure light that flows through all things. So anyway, going back to forgiveness, it says you only have to be willing, this book says you only have to be willing to ask for me, the light, the innate intelligence, to clear your mind from all the mistakes that you ever made, because it wasn't a mistake. It actually seems like a mistake at a certain amount of time. Like, I was really angry for myself. I'm still going through this thing where my mind is like, it brings me back to this instant where I'm still getting angry, like, why did you stay so long? Why didn't you leave sooner? Why did you let this person take advantage of your kindness? It's like, that person is my greatest teacher, They taught me how to deeply love myself, because when I finally did walk away, I did walk away because of nothing but pure love for myself, even though it was like confusing, and it like, it still brings up sometimes waves of anger. It's like missing someone, grief. Waves of grief come up because, like, I miss this person. Maybe they passed on. But energy is neither created nor destroyed, and they say that death is an illusion. So, that person is always with us, and the energy is always with us. It's like our perception is so limited. That's why I like focusing on the cell and the biology and the chemistry. It's like, we don't see ourselves accurately. Everything that we see is like, it's only a small part of the picture. Like, sometimes you look back and you're like, wow, everything really worked out the way that it should have. And a few months ago, I was having a really hard time. I was in the shower and I heard this sentence, and it said, why would you ever worry when you know everything is working out for you? Why would you ever worry? And, why would you let your body go through this depletion, this magnesium dumpage, this calcium dumpage, Well, everything's going to work out. The ceiling is not caving in on you right now. We have so much faith all the time that, the airplanes that are flying over us, they're not dropping down and crushing us. The ceiling fan is staying up, right? Like, we have so much faith all the time, and we don't even like to admit it to ourselves. So anyway, I'm going to read this again. All your past except its beauty is gone, and nothing is left but a blessing. A blessing. I have saved all your kindnesses and every loving thought you ever had. I have purified them of the errors that hid their light and kept them for you in their own perfect radiance. They are beyond destruction and beyond guilt. The heart is pure to hold it, and the hands are strong to give it. We cannot lose. Just remember, like, if you're in a dark place too, like, your food is so important. A fatty and amino acids, that's what the body is made of too. So maybe if you're in a rough time, like, give yourself that extra support, that extra love, that extra light. I was talking to my mom this morning. I went to go visit my parents, and I was talking to them because, like, I was in the restaurant. I work in a restaurant. I'm a server at a restaurant. And a few weeks ago, I went up to this table. I had to help one of the other servers. It wasn't my table. I had to help open a bottle of wine. And the table that it was, there was a priest at it. And I was, just talking to him because sometimes you're opening the bottle of wine and, like, low-key people are just staring at you. And so it's easier to strike up a conversation to help, like, ease the pressure of what I'm doing. So I was like, oh, so you're a priest. Like, what parish do you priest at? Essentially. And he was like, oh, I'm at St. Jerome. And I said, no way. Like, I grew up 2 blocks away from there, and I used to go there every Sunday when I was a kid. And my sister didn't like to go to church. Like, fun fact, my sister didn't like to go to church, so my parents would go to church at different times. And I loved going to church, so I would go actually twice with each one of them as they would go. I would loved the stillness of being in the church. And, like, I always say, like, I grew up Catholic. I had problems with the word God. I identified as atheist, and now I'm kind of back to spiritual connection of the light. If Jesus had a microscope, he would talk about mitochondria. Of course, the light, the love, your essence, your warmth, your radiance. Anyway, I said, oh, I grew up there. And he said, oh, do you still go to church? I said, no, I don't go anymore. I said, I go into the sunlight every single morning and every day. And he said, that's where God is. And I said, yes, I know. And it was a beautiful encounter. He said, well, you're always welcome to come back. And I'm like, I'm good. That's my church is in the light, because people go to church, like, I feel you go to church to maintain some connection with your spirit and who you are. Spirit respiration is all right here in the cell. Spirit respiration, cellular respiration, is the process of the body using energy and functioning. Mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell, producing the most light. So I'm not against like going to church in any means. Like, I still find it, like, very peaceful. But, like, what is the root cause of your connection? What is it that you are trying to obtain by going to church? And the reason why I left the church originally was because I felt like people go to church and then they just think they are, they think they're good, right? And you get out of church and then you start treating people terribly and blah, 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 blah. But I'm good because I went to church, So that's why I left, because I was like, there's something missing deeply for me. And as I start learning more about the biology, like biology and spirituality, like, they're so interconnected, Who are you without your health and the health of your spirit? Like, you could be doing all the right things in the world, getting up and exercise and eating the right foods, but if your spiritual health, if you just feeling like you're in the wrong place, and, like, you always need to be doing something different, like, there's a connection missing. And what I was thinking about this morning was insomnia. Like, why do you feel so burnt out and fatigued? Why are you not resting at night? And that's your soul. Like, when we don't sleep at night, there's a great disconnect between our soul and, like, where we are or where we think we need to be. And this is just my personal hot take, but there's a reason why you're being kept awake. You're being, like, there's an anxiety, there's a background anxiety, because there's a dialogue that's happening that is like, I'm not happy where I'm at. My actions in my soul, like there's a disconnect, there's a disalignment. And so like, so maybe like you find out, oh, there's things that help me go to sleep at night, right? Like sauna really helps me go to sleep at night. Exercise really helps me go to sleep at night. My food, eating enough tryptophan to break down into serotonin, to break down into melatonin, helps me to go to sleep at night. But still, there's this underlying thing where, where is my connection to myself and into all things? Like, if you still feel separated, even though you're doing all these things, like, the body will still find a way to keep you awake, and your metabolism will still be out of whack. Why is that? So these are just some thoughts. I don't really even know where I'm going with this, to be honest. I just I feel this fire in my heart. That's what I feel, like this fire. And sometimes I don't even know why I'm so passionate about these topics. Actually, after my first ayahuasca ceremony, I came home and I just I was crying because I was like, I don't even know what to do with all of this passion in my heart. And a lot of it is for the kids, the babies. A lot of it is for people who struggle with autoimmune disease, our cancer rates being so high, infertility, mental health disorders. I have such a great passion for all of this, and I was like, how can I share this? And just making these YouTube videos, every time I make a video and I talk about the cell, I talk about anything like that, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I'm just chopping wood and carrying water. That's what it feels like. So yeah, I just started school and I'm learning a lot more, and I'm so excited to be here and share my love with you. So if you've watched this, thank you for watching. If you want to share it with somebody, share it with your grandparents, share it with your parents. We're all struggling with gravity, everybody here. So anyway, you can share, and subscribe. But as always, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you go outside today and enjoy this beautiful, beautiful day. And remember your connection to the light. If you don't fill yourself with light, you'll be filled with darkness. There's something that has to go into the space. So anyway, I love you so much. I will catch you later.